It's Friday, September 28th of 2018. I'm so happy that it's Friday. Mostly. This guy's daily drive. And good afternoon. Finally on my way home from work on a Friday. It's going to be hopefully a quiet weekend. Guy Jr. is off to the beach with a bunch of his friends. Peter, my other son, may be coming up maybe there right now, maybe there today. But he's supposed to show up sometime over the weekend, maybe with girlfriend / significant other / whatever's Liza. And it's always great to see them. Sorry, sleepy. Guy Jr. has gotten very interested in photography lately and shooting video and doing creative things. This is not something that he's shown any interest in pretty much in the past. Not so much about being creative. He's always been creative. But it's been more along the lines of the written word or drawing that he was interested in. Not so much cinematography or photography. Well, now he's interested in that stuff, and like most things that he does, he has jumped in with both feet. He has a Canon DSLR. It's a pretty nice one with a couple of lenses. He's got a GoPro Hero 5, I think. It's the relatively new expensive one. And some camera that shoots 360 video, and he's experimenting with it and having a good time with it. But what he's finding is that on his 2013 MacBook Pro, with God only knows how much space is left on that hard drive, and it's a spindle hard drive, and how much RAM that machine has, I don't know off the top of my head. But he wants to get a new machine or a new desktop. Now, I have two Mac Minis, more or less along the lines, same vintage as what he's using now. No, he wants either a 21.5 inch iMac or a Mac Pro. And I have warned him that the newer Mac Pro, which is from 2013, is a machine that is pretty much end of life. We're not going to see a new iteration of it. It's pretty much a dead machine, but they're still very, very expensive. If he goes the 21.5 inch iMac route, the problem with that machine, you can't update the RAM in it. So whatever RAM it is that you're going to get, and he's talking like 16 to 32 gigs of RAM, is all the RAM that machine is ever going to have because it's soldered in. So to put 32 gigs of RAM in a 21.5 inch iMac, it's custom build, that's like $600. And what I recommended to him was, instead of going with a 21.5 inch iMac, if you're going to go with an iMac, and this is for anybody really, then get the 27 inch, which still has 4 slots that you can put memory into. If you get it standard, it comes with 8 gigs, which is going to be 2 4 gig sticks with 2 empty slots. So you can right off the bat put in up to, depending on the model, another 16 to 32 gigs. And if you take out the 2 4 gig sticks, you can put in even more than that. And it's going to be at a price that is significantly less than what Apple's going to charge you for the same RAM. Plus, you'll have a bigger screen, a nicer screen. And there are some really good values out there. You can pick up a perfectly usable for what he wants 2014 to 2016 iMac. Sorry. For much less than a new one is going to cost if he's going to insist on getting a late model machine, then go refurb. I mean, it's the same machine. It's whatever the reason was as to why it was returned to Apple. Somebody human. Man, I am tired. Somebody human puts it through all the tests to make sure that it's still a good machine as compared to the ones that you get right off the factory, which aren't typically looked at by humans, put through just a series of robotic tests. And you get, on top of that, depending on the machine, 5 to 15% off the retail price of whatever that computer was when it was brand new. He sent me some links to a few Mac Pros, and I tried telling him, 2013, they're not going to make them anymore. It was kind of a design that just didn't work out. It was very expensive. But when I actually looked at the links, and they were going to eBay auctions, they were the cheese grater type Mac Pros, and which is of course the one that I had just before I got the current iMac that I use now. My son Peter's using it, and damn, can't stop yawning. The problem with these machines is as wonderful as they are, and as fast as they are, and as much expandability as they have, you cannot update them to 10.14 Mojave. Can't update them. So High Sierra is going to be the last operating system, or the latest and greatest operating system that you can put on these computers, which is okay for now, but eventually the software that you want to use is going to be updated to work with later operating systems. So when that happens, it means you won't be able to use that software anymore, at least the latest version of that software. And granted, if you bought one of those machines brand new, it's now 8 years old, 6 to 8 years old, and chances are you've gotten your money's worth out of that machine. But when you buy them used, once they hit that operating system brick wall, their values go down pretty quick. But actually, one of the things I was going to talk about, one of the things to look out for is a 2009 Mac Pro that has had its firmware updated to a later version of that computer. So the 2009 Mac Pros if you looked at the firmware on that machine, is a 4,1. The 2010 and the 2012s, which were the last of the great big huge tower machines, those are 5,1s. So what some people do to squeeze a little more life out of those computers is to flash the firmware so that it fools the machine into thinking that it's a 5,1 as compared to a 4,1. And if it works, great. It may or may not do exactly what it is that you want it to do. You may have some instability issues with a machine like that. So you definitely want to be careful. If you're going to get an older machine, get, especially one that you can't update either, get the latest one that you can. I mean, there's no point in getting a 2007, 2008 Mac Pro that you can't update and is going to have other hardware and software limitations as compared to later Mac Pros. So if you're going to get a Mac Pro, the cheese grater Mac Pros, get a 2010, 2012, which is what I've recommended to Guy if that's the route that he wants to go. I will keep an eye on it, and I'm certainly willing to give him the benefit of my experience, if that will really help him. But really, at this point, why get a Mac that you can't put the latest operating system on? You won't be able to get 3 to 4 years of good solid use out of, and be able to keep it up to date. So that would be my advice. Get a computer, whether as far as desktops go, a Mac Mini or an iMac, that you could update to the latest version of the operating system. Same thing with laptops. Don't get a laptop that's so old that you can't update to whatever the latest OS is. All right, if you would like to get a hold of me, you can. My email address is guy@mymac.com, probably. You can also reach me via the Twitters, where my screen handle there is MacPettit. You can find me on Wednesday nights live, usually, on Facebook, on the Mac to the Future livecast, Mac to the Future Go livecast. Don't forget the Go. And of course, the granddaddy of them all, the MyMac.com podcast that I do almost every weekend with Mr. Gaz. And as we slide into next week, I will talk to you more about some of the stuff I've got going on. That's coming up very, very quickly. But in the meantime, we're going to end this. And so I will say thank you. Oh, I almost forgot. If you would like to help support the stuff that I do, I have a Patreon page, patreon.com/MacParrot. I have a Ko-fi page, ko-fi.com/MacParrot. Some of the various ways that you can help support the insanity that I do, doing a freaking podcast while driving home from work. It's probably a textbook definition of insanity, maybe. So thank you all for watching and or listening, because you can also get the audio version of this podcast over there in iTunes. Just look for it under Guy's Daily Drive. That's about it. I will catch you next time on the aforementioned Guy's Daily Drive. Thanks again.